Can we not ignore the protests that are happening in Puerto Rico right now? People are all over the streets right now resisting the terrible administration of Ricardo Rosselló, and because of that, we stand with them. Vulgar language, sexist language, poor administration of Puerto Rico, we have to stand with them because they are Americans and because they are people fighting for justice. Black Coffee starts now. Black Coffee, I'm Mark Lamont Hill. I am joined by Gia Peppers and Jameer Pond, two of the best co-hosts to ever do. What?
Okay.
I was giving you a
Finish it. Finish it.
No, it's too late now. You blew it.
Okay, I'll say it. Two of the best co-hosts to ever do it.
Oh, yeah.
Fine. We got a super special guest in the house today, though. We have been patiently waiting seven long years
You
for
don't have
her
to say the 7.
new. No, because I've been waiting
That's 24
for her
minutes.
amazing new music. She dropped Perfectly Imperfect in 2012, and now her sophomore album Ellevation is out, and it has been well worth the wait. Please welcome the brilliant, the talented, the world historical figure, the gorgeous, the genius, Elle Varner.
Go L. Go L. Serve it up. That's a little dance break.
That was good. I was killing it. That was good.
That's what happens. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We've been waiting for you.
I literally, when we started the show, I was like, so y'all can't have Elle's photo on
And
the
not
set
bring
and
Elle.
not bring Elle
You know,
here.
you're actually like on our wall. That's like a big deal.
Wow.
I hope you approve the picture.
So that's been
there the
Oh
whole
yeah, we don't do a
time.
different one every day. That's you every day.
And
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
You are Black
I'm
Coffee
part of
family.
it.
You,
I am.
little Uncle Rel.
Uncle Lil
Not
Rel.
little Uncle Rel.
Uncle Lil Rel.
It's Lil
Cousin
Rel.
Davies, you know, he come in with a
Uncle.
certain smell, you know.
Angela
Cousin
Rye.
Dave. Oh my
Cousin
God.
Dave.
A lot of
Yeah,
people.
Tarana Burke. There's some people who make the Hall of Fame. You family from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we're so happy to have you.
Thank
And you are killing it. Congratulations on
Thank you.
Ellevation
Thank
sophomore
you.
album.
EP.
EP.
Yeah, sophomore album is still
In the works.
works.
So how does it feel now to have this new project? We waited a long time.
It feels incredible. I mean, just the most important things is that the fans are so happy.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, wow, they're just, that's what it's about. And for me not to have been able to release music for a long time, it's just, it's over with, and now I get to continue, and everything happens for a reason. So, you know,
We're
God,
so happy.
Well, we can't wait to get into that. We also want to get into a whole bunch of conversations today. In fact, I want to run some stats by you guys. According to the School Lunch Association, 75% of students went into debt. That's crazy to me. For the cost of their lunches in 2016, 2017, 75%. So the question of the day is, how do you think schools should handle the school lunch debt for students? Should students be denied lunch? Should the parents have to pay a fine? Should taxes start to cover the cost of school lunch? Let us know what you think. We want to hear from you. We'll read your comments throughout the show, so make sure you send us a comment. You can also send a comment for Elle about her brilliant career and all the stuff we want to know about her, too. You can send one for Jameer as well, because Jameer is in charge of all things game today.
Oh, yes, we got a special game for you, all right?
Okay.
Because we knew you were a singer. You got put on our singer hats today.
Okay.
And we're going to play One Gotta Go. Now,
Okay.
you've seen it on Twitter. You know, you got 4 selections, and you got to pick one.
Okay.
Now, I want to make a point to say that this is a legendary one because we knew you were coming. It's 80 stars of R&B, and we just want to make sure we don't hate nobody. We love everybody, but this is going to be a tough one.
This is the toughest one in Black Coffee
This is the
history.
toughest one in Black Coffee
It
history.
actually is.
Yeah.
Oh man, y'all
So,
gonna mess me
are you
up.
ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go to the screen. One Gotta Go. Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, Prince,
Isn't this crazy?
or Nippy
It's
Whitney
disrespectful.
Houston.
You guys-
One Gotta Go.
Disrespectful.
Like, I feel
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
I will lose this game.
Okay.
No,
Any
I
day.
lost. I
You
lost.
feel
You lost?
Hell
Come
no.
on, you got the pig.
No.
We love all of them.
No. And
It's only temporary. All right, they go to timeout. They come back, but they in timeout.
guys, no.
Okay.
Like
She's standing.
I
her ground,
stand
Okay.
with
Jameer, who would you
no.
pick? Let's look, Jameer, who would you pick?
Well, not that guy. I'm probably in my hardest of hearts, and I love this person, but I would have to let Nippy go. I would have to let Wick go.
I as a
I would have
as
to
a
let
black
Whitney.
woman.
You're getting rid of Whitney
My heart
Houston.
is broken.
You're getting rid of the one black woman on the thing.
It's crazy.
Oh!
I am. And it's not because I'm sexist. It's because I literally grown up with Luther Vandross,
He used
Michael
to.
Jackson, and I think that Prince is the most talented musician and artist up there, in my opinion. So, by process of elimination, I would have to say bye to Nip. And I love Nip.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Bye to Luther. And that's only because it's Prince and Michael Jackson, and Whitney Houston means way too much to
Yeah.
me
I understand.
in life. Like, quite literally, she was the first big black superstar that was a woman who had one of the greatest voices of all time. Luther is a person who I love and is a legend, and I would never get rid of anyone if I had the choice. But because my family, we were bigger on Stevie, James, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and those things, those incredible artists, not that Luther, I'm not taking anything away from him, but if that's what I gotta choose.
I just want to make note that Mark's head is going to explode.
I see. He
Continue.
really needs
Go
help.
ahead, Mark. Who would you choose?
I hope I still have a job after this.
Maybe not.
Not Luther Vandross. Not Luther Ranzoni Vandross. We are not
All
getting
right,
rid of.
so you're getting rid of who then?
Not Luther Vandross.
No.
I just need to say that.
No.
I need to say it 3 times so the universe can be regulated again.
Everybody knows that. Who would you
Luther
pick?
By the way, those pictures, man. I wish we had found
Better
pictures.
pictures.
That's a really normal picture of Prince. We could have switched
Prince
that.
looks amazing. The rest of the we had better pictures of Michael. Michael wouldn't recognize Michael right there.
Luther up to something in that
That's
picture.
so-
He stole something right there.
Yeah, y'all, come on. These photos.
Oh, you put on your glasses.
I did. I'm glad you read it out loud. 'cause
We
I was
did
about
not-
to
You didn't know.
what-
We did not
what
choose
y'all
these
was talking
photos.
No,
about.
I understand. So the logic is that these are them from the 80s, right? So,
Yeah.
so you had to have Luther at that size and Michael with that face.
That's definitely Prince from 2007. Mark, who would you pick?
It is, definitely.
Yeah, definitely
That's
2007
Prince.
Prince.
So
Don't you come
for
on?
the 80s, am going to also get rid of Whitney Houston.
I knew they were.
And here's why.
I can't believe
Here's
it.
why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because in the 80s, you got Bad and Thriller, right? And Prince unleashed 3 amazing consecutive albums
Yeah,
in the
mad
80s.
music.
Luther Vandross for me is the quintessential vocalist for me, it's Luther, Donnie. I mean, it's a small number of people who got a voice like Luther. And Luther's my favorite artist of all time.
Stevie's mine.
I celebrate April 20th as Luther
Stevie's
Vandross
mine.
Day, just for the record.
Some people celebrate another day. I'm just
Some
saying.
people do it simultaneously.
Okay,
Never
okay,
too much.
okay.
But then
Never too much.
That was good.
Whitney, for me, the best Whitney I've seen, and I love Whitney, and I wouldn't get rid of any of them either. Whitney's a legend. But when Whitney hits her peak with the Bodyguard, we're in the 90s.
92,
Yes.
yeah.
It's 92. So for me, I Will Always Love You is her crowning moment. The Super Bowl is her crowning moment.
Right.
And those are 90s moments. Although I love
I thought
everything
it
she did in the 80s.
Oh, so the Super Bowl happened in 1990 or something?
Was it?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
it was in the
1990s?
90s.
I feel like it was like
90s.
Baby
80s.
tonight.
Yeah, that was 80s.
That was 80s.
That was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, everything
so-
she did, and I Want to
Yeah.
Dance with Somebody.
Yeah,
The first 2 albums that came out was in the 80s.
You give good love. I mean, I love Whitney.
Saving All My Love for You?
But yet you
love-
throw her out? Crazy town.
Because, sir,
You did it too?
I sure did. I stand on
did
it.
you just Fox News me?
I don't bet
What we
on
have to go through.
Exactly,
This is
as
what
women,
we
you
have
know what I'm
to
saying?
go
We gotta hold it
through.
together.
Wait a minute. I know
Whitney, we
Switzerland
got
over
you,
here.
sis.
I know Switzerland over here ain't talking shit. She's like, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Switzerland.
You can't judge us and be neutral. You gotta pick
Yeah,
one.
you gotta pick one.
Oh my God, Luther.
Yeah.
Wow. Bye, Ronzoni.
You see what just happened here? This is a black woman
Why
thing.
you stand up?
Because I'm about to leave.
Sit down. No, sit down. Sit down.
Several,
I love
several
Luther,
minutes.
but you're making me, and you're twisting my arm here.
I love Luther. There's again.
I love Luther.
We can't let go of any of them.
Right.
It was just for the show. Don't
That's fine.
to look.
All
What
right.
it do, baby?
Well, you know who we can't let go of? R. Kelly.
Okay, no, I would like to let him go. But the world, we are all still very much enthralled in this man's story right now.
Yeah.
He's going through a lot. Federal charges have been brought up. And his manager was on CBS this morning yesterday and had quite a bit, Publicist was on there and had quite a bit to say about his own personal dealings and how he would deal with his daughter being around R. Kelly. Let's watch the moment.
You have a 20-something-year-old daughter. Would you allow her to be alone with
Absolutely not.
With R. Kelly?
I wouldn't leave my daughter with anybody that's accused of pedophilia. Period.
So you would not?
I would not leave my daughter with anyone that's accused of being a pedophile. I would not.
That doesn't seem like a contradiction to you. You're
Absolutely.
sitting here
Absolutely.
defending R. Kelly, but at the same time saying you wouldn't leave your own daughter with him.
I wouldn't leave my daughter with anyone. I'm going to say it again. That's accused of being a pedophile.
All right.
I get it. I understand.
I feel like that's a good, thing to have. You should not leave your daughter with anyone who's accused of being a pedophile, sure. But if you can go to work every day and defend and literally be on a show to talk about this person, what are you showing your daughter? Like,
Yeah,
it's
so
technically okay.
It's okay for someone else's daughter, just not your daughter.
Exactly. That's basically what he's saying.
Well,
He's saying, I protect my family, and I'm not gonna leave my... I mean, I understand, but yes, it's definitely a contradiction.
Yeah,
it's
course
like,
it's a contradiction.
I work with somebody who was accused of being a pedophile, but I wouldn't leave my...
You don't just work with him. He's not a chef.
He's publicist.
His job is to tell people that R. Kelly's an okay guy. He's a crisis manager.
Right.
He's trying to fix this shit,
Right.
right? He's like,
Yeah.
oh, R. Kelly's a great guy. Would you let your daughter? Oh, hell no.
I wouldn't leave my daughter.
My daughter? No. No.
Not his kids. Yeah.
There's no good way to spin this, because at the end of the day, R. Kelly hurt young women all over America and probably internationally too. And I don't know how long this person has been a part of his team. We've seen lots of turnover in his team in the last
He's
few
relatively
years.
new.
He's relatively
He
new.
signed on
And didn't he
himself.
leave?
Yeah, at one point he was reserving, he was like working in Chicago, like in like hotels and stuff.
Okay.
Like booking like VIP rooms and stuff. He's sort of like the guy who kind of jumps on the crew at the end of the day to kind of get on. And I think R. Kelly was there at a moment where he didn't have any money.
Yes.
And so he's like, I'll help you. So he became a
Interesting.
crisis manager.
In the midst of all that.
Yeah.
See, and again, my only problem is you're still getting, the checks are still clearing, hopefully, from R. Kelly.
That interview suggests
Probably,
that they didn't. That interview you do after the check clears.
That, I know, but at the end, what I'm saying is your daughter is still being taken care of by a man who's out here harming women. So even if you say, allegedly, I mean, it's pretty much proven now, but even if you say, yo, we not cool with him, like don't go around him, but take this $20 from my check, it's still showing her that in some way you approve of him as a person because you are directly aligned with him. And so I have a problem with that. You are a walking contradiction. That's what I got from that whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's a good way to spin it. He quit though.
So yeah, late last night
he resigned.
He resigned
after
from
this
his
interview.
non-position, right?
Right.
He said for personal reasons.
After the interview? After he got backlash.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
what
He was
the-
like, oh yeah, what I'm doing is not,
He resigned
not
last
okay.
night. In the evening, he put a little announcement out saying, for personal reasons, I will no longer work with R. Kelly, but he's in good hands with whoever he's working with now, Mr. Greenberg, I think he said his name was.
Lord.
So, it's a weird thing. R. Kelly, he also said R. Kelly is a mess and that he is concerned about his mental health. He also said that he would not allow his own daughter to be alone with R. Kelly, which resulted in the public backlash that we just talked about. So it's been a weird week, but hopefully, we're getting closer to justice, whatever that looks like,
Yep.
Yeah.
for anyone who's been harmed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we,
Yeah.
that's what we really
And I think it's just a testament to say he categorically was like, I would not let my daughter be around R. Kelly. Like, I'm absolutely not. And so that says something, even if this is your employer. This is your employer.
Yeah.
So he's like, look, I'm not saying that, he didn't, but I wouldn't leave my daughter
Yes.
around. So
He clearly has bad judgment. Look at his beard.
And no
Oh, my
mustache.
goodness.
It's like here.
That's your first sign.
Yo, it's like a Furby.
Yes.
And no mustache.
You have a Furby on your face, I'm not going anywhere near you.
And you can't trust no black man at a certain age with no mustache.
That is
fact.
scientific fact. I don't know if people know. Did you know
I
that?
never knew that.
Yeah, it's scientific fact.
This is weird.
How many young men of a certain age or black men of a certain age you know without a mustache that you can trust? You can call and be like, I'm in a bind.
Actually, young men?
Yeah, young men.
Oh, young men.
At a certain age, you get more distinguished. You can
Yeah, or you shave it off to look young. But when you
Right.
if you're like 30 with just no mustache,
yeah.
watch out.
Can you trust? Yeah, you check
This
your bag.
is a scientific study done by Jameer and me.
Absolutely.
Y'all are
Yeah.
playing games. And speaking of
I'm
somebody who's
just
playing,
letting you know. I'm letting you know.
Fine.
speaking
Oh
of
my
somebody
God.
who's playing, the internet had a good old time making sure that Bow Wow sat down several times last
Again?
night because Bow Wow was performing Like You, his song with Ciara, his ex, in a club, and instead of just rapping the lyrics, he's gonna say, "Y'all know I had that B first, right?"
Wait,
B
B as
meaning-
in.
Right.
Oh, no.
You add
Oh,
itch to the end of it.
Oh, no.
And
no,
I said,
no.
and I'm like, first of all, you're performing Like You in a club, which is a problem. I love Like You, but of all the songs, it could have been like Lil Bow Wow, you just don't know the way,
Right.
all that.
I love Bow, but he ain't got a lot of new hits.
No, but of all the hits, Like You was not a club banger. Like You was never a club banger.
He might be doing Fresh as I'm Is at Chick-fil-A next week.
Oh, come on.
Like, disrespect on top of disrespect.
Yeah.
Why are you even talking about it, one, but why are you calling her out of her name?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What did Ciara ever? We don't know the insides of their relationship, but it never looked like Ciara deserved all of this backlash she gets from Future, from Bow, from any of her exes who are continuously talking about how they don't, like, they just dislike her. And it's
But
like,
you know what? She keeps it moving and she keeps representing this beautiful, strong, confident. I love her for that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's probably why they're salty. Like, she's...
Is that a common thing that y'all experience, like with guys, like at a certain point, like they get, if you break up, they get bitter? I'm not talking about Bow Wow now. I'm just talking in general. That people get bitter or say stuff like I used to have that. I mean, because I don't know dudes that do that.
I don't do it, but I know there's people, when you level up as a woman, you see men start to react differently.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's very
Have
crazy.
you ever had
Does that happen to y'all?
I've had it, and I've also had it completely lie. Like, that part.
Really?
It's
like someone will lie and say they talked to you and dated you.
yes.
And you're
Or
like,
they hit,
Yes.
or yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. People do that?
No,
Well,
you
we
know
know
men
that.
lie.
We know
Yeah, in middle school, I didn't know people did
No, grown men lie. Every
I
day.
tried to be in denial for the longest time about like guys in the locker room talk. Because I thought, honestly, I thought it was us more.
right, because
But
we talk too.
we talk too, but we don't talk like that.
Right.
Like,
I don't
we're
feel like
girl,
I've
it
ever
was like.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've ever lied on something. Like
No,
lied about a dude.
That's insane.
weird.
That's weird.
That's just
That's
weird.
very weird.
But Elle, you a baddie, and you also be in the spotlight. So I understand like men wanting to. They might have imagined that maybe you looked at them longer and they're like, oh, she into me.
Yeah.
Like it's
She blinking at me.
She
Yeah.
blinked at
Yeah.
me. But
I
that's
hear that.
weird. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For someone to like, you're a little mentally disturbed if you take a look and
Right.
turn it into a relationship. Like,
Right,
you should
right,
probably
right.
think something. But I will say that just in the ex, like the bitter ex situation, I've had somebody like talk at me like, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody else. Or a person who I didn't want to talk to, who will quite literally say like, oh, she thinks she's better than somebody else. And I'm like, just because I'm not interested
All right.
in you as a
Yeah.
human being, because I know you're trash, doesn't mean that I'm better than anyone else.
Yeah.
It just means that I'm protecting myself because I've heard about you in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not wrong.
Man, I mean, I think it's the ego thing as well. Like Bow Wow, he's going through a lot, and Ciara is happy now with a man who loves her, wants to literally give her healthy babies
Russell
in a
is
healthy
so
relationship.
Yeah.
For some men, I can understand how that would be, damaging to their ego. But to say like, I hit it first or I had that first,
He's too old for that.
that's too much. Yeah,
But
you
Bow gotta be
way
30
too.
oh, Bow's
grown.
over 30,
Yeah,
right?
he's over
What,
30.
35?
No, he's not that old. But he's old enough to be conscious.
He's old enough not to do that.
Right.
And I've known Bow a long time. I like Bow. I just think this is a bad choice.
I wanna like
and
Bow.
I'm hoping he was, maybe caught up in a moment or inebriated and did
Hopefully
something
he'll
dumb.
apologize.
Yes.
I hope he
Weird
apologizes.
flex.
Yes.
Weird
flex.
Weird flex.
Because I'm like, again, Ciara is literally she always talks about the prayer she says about how she brought in Russell Wilson into her life. And I'm just like, she was so intentional in moving on. She never badmouthed anyone. I'm just
Not at
so
all.
sick of people coming for her. Like, let that girl be happy and healthy in her life, and y'all stop being so bitter. And as a father, like, I really want Bow to be a little bit more aware of what he's putting out there, because his
Absolutely.
beautiful baby girl could Google him one day and be like, Dad, who is Ciara?
Why you acting
And
like a
why are you calling
bozo,
her- Like,
Dad?
right.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? So I just want him to be more aware because he's grown. Like, you're grown.
Yeah.
Can we talk school lunch?
Yeah.
Let's talk about these babies.
Speaking of kids.
People who actually,
great.
who deserve our love and support.
Yes.
We asked you earlier how we should solve the school lunch crisis, and here's why. You read news stories all the time about schools taking drastic measures to get parents to pay their debts. There was a school in Pennsylvania that actually shamed kids with debts by only serving them cold sandwich. Actually, that wasn't Pennsylvania, but you remember this, right? They were like, if you don't pay your school debts, we're gonna give you bad food. Then there was a school in Pennsylvania that sent a letter to about 40 parents threatening them, saying we're going to send you to dependency court, and warning them that if they go to court, they could then end up in foster care. And if they don't pay their school lunch debt, all this will happen.
Crazy.
And some of the debt was like $10. Some had more, some had a balance of $400, no doubt, $450 up to. But you talking about $10 for some people, you threaten them with dependency court? Come on, that's crazy. Anyway, some of y'all wrote in, Valerie Valvines Toyer on Facebook said, write it off. Our taxes pay for the nasty food. Should be free to all students, as I observe. Much of the students throw the food away. Now, the comments are, to me, reflective of, I think, how a lot of people feel about this, which is the kids need food.
Right.
How are we in a country where with all this money, all this wealth, all this excess, when you got kids going to bed hungry every night, and now we're trying to send parents to court? Threaten
To jail? To take their kids
foster
away?
care? Come on.
They already.
Oh, go, no, you
Well,
go
they
ahead.
already have a lack of sports programs, music
Yes.
programs, things that actually keep kids engaged. You
Right.
go to certain schools where there's a bigger white demographic, and they'll have polo and table tennis.
Rugby.
They'll have rugby.
Yeah.
TVs in the lounge.
The laptops, and then you go to schools with urban communities, and it's like nothing.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. The taxes should pay for it. I remember when I was in high school, there was a program. If you had financial difficulty, you signed up and you got lunch tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And then you got your food.
And you got
Right.
your food.
Right.
Like,
It's tough. I mean, this particular school district says that they have a budget of, I think it was $80 million or something like that. And so this $20,000 or $30,000 doesn't seem like a big chunk of that.
Right.
But they're like, we're strapped because we want to buy computers, we want to do all this other stuff. I get the school's position, but for me, the way to fix the problem isn't to threaten parents.
Right.
Threatening to take people's kids from them is never an effective way to get
Yeah.
them paid.
Over lunch.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, foster care shouldn't be weaponized. Jail shouldn't be weaponized. And when you start to do these things, it only makes parents hate the school more, and to me, it fractures the relationship between the parents and the school, too. So
Right.
it's just ugly.
And there's already enough, complications of being a parent. It's hard to be a parent, and then also getting people to be involved in their kids' like classroom PTA meetings, like caring enough to like make sure your kids' grades are good. Like now you're like, I ain't going up to that school. They're crazy.
Right.
And I was just looking up some stats. The National School Lunch Program that literally is supposed to help pay for free and reduced cost lunches. You have to be a family of 4 that makes under $32,630 to even qualify for that. A family of 4, and the application
Combined.
oh my
and
God.
then the
That's crazy.
application is so like difficult and asks so many questions of you that many immigrant families don't want to be a part of it. Many people who are on welfare don't really want to be a part of that process. And so now you have this whole new level of difficulty of feeding your child when 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. is literally suffering from hunger. So it's a really sad like place to be in when kids are being threatened to taken away from their families.
You remember demerits?
Yeah, demerit.
Remember suspension?
Yeah.
Like, how do we jump from that to this? To me, the school system has to identify who the parents are and who their children are. If you're way below the poverty line, you know that these people can't afford to do things that you would want to. Of course, you're going to accrue debt. Like, it makes sense. But to say, hey, you know what? You ain't pay for your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You got an outstanding balance. We're gonna take your parents to court, and you
That's
could
so
possibly
scary.
go to foster care. Is just another constant parallel to the school to prison pipeline.
Wow.
Like you treating these kids like they in prison, and so we're gonna really shake some shit up for you and send your parents to prison, send you to foster care. I think it's disturbing.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting. And over in Rhode Island, they said that. Okay, we're not gonna, you won't get peanut butter and jelly no more. We'll give you a sunflower seed butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to weaponize, like you said, the foster system, the jail system, and you want to threaten these kids over cold French fries
Right.
and stale mashed potatoes.
Right.
Like, I don't understand the parallel. So if you understand where you're coming from and who these kids are, then there should be a solution or a plan in place.
Please.
Right, and
That's
that's,
what
a
I'm
good,
saying.
And that's a good point because initially that was the point of school lunch. Now we see it as a burden to
Yeah.
us. In 1942, when the school lunch program was created, President Truman said that we'll have stronger Americans, we'll have better national defense if everybody's healthy, happy, and can think through it. It was for everybody. Now suddenly it's like, oh my God, these poor people asking for food again.
Yeah.
And so they try and find ways around it by giving you bad food. In the 80s, Reagan said, well, you need vegetables, well, ketchup will be a vegetable. You know, and so we did all these ways
Yeah,
to.
because we're going to keep you in the hospital. We're going to keep the obesity levels growing
Right.
and lack of nutrition, and you'll be sick and paying pharmaceutical. And that's how we're going to keep you in the other system.
Exactly. Exploiting poverty for more money
No
for the wealthy.
financial literacy.
Nope.
No, it's
a mess.
Levels.
It is indeed a mess. And we were talking about how to solve this, and people have been
how do
writing
we
it.
solve it?
I ain't got the answer, but some of y'all got the answer. Barbara Nelson on Facebook said there should never be a debt for any child. Charleon Gunby says it should be free. Darrell Edmondson Jr. wrote, have the city create a lunch forgiveness plan. Tinkerbell Mills says, let them eat for free. They have money for everything else. Use that toll money.
Thank you.
Or money from all those parking fees. They damn sure got parking fees. A lot of parking fees. Roro Goins wrote, make them pay. Phyllis Milligan.
Make them pay.
I got issue with you, Roro.
Right, that was like, not, like how you
Roro.
gonna make them pay?
I wonder
if they
if that's
don't have the
Roro
money?
from Another Bad Creation. You think it's that Roro? Could be. Just a guess. All right.
Oh my God.
You don't remember Chris Margaret Dave wrote?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yes.
Phyllis, Facebook, if prisoners eat free every day, so should students.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting logic. But Anastasia Bolden on Facebook said the crazy thing is the food they're paying for isn't even healthy or nutritious for the children.
Exactly.
Trash should be free. You know, that's another interesting point too, is that the school lunches aren't always healthy.
Right.
At all.
They're often have too much salt, too much sodium, really too much sugar.
Yes.
And so we're contributing to childhood obesity, diabetes, things like that. So we need to make sure the lunches are healthy, and we need to make sure that they're accessible.
Yes.
What if they made, I know it's a stretch, but what if they made like garden,
Yeah, gardens. There are a lot
like
of schools
that.
that have
Community
gardens.
gardens,
community
yeah.
gardens, they can
You
grow
can
their
grow
own
food.
vegetables, you know, grow their own produce, teach them how to, agriculture, about, you know.
That would be
Like figuring that out.
I
That'd
think
be
that would
fire.
be amazing.
That
And
would
then
be
I also
dope.
would love to know like what organizations I can do, like literally we can all donate
Yeah.
to make sure that they're, even if it's locally, like if I donate to a DC, because I know DC has over $500,000 in debt in the school system from lunch alone. So like in different
Wow.
ways that I can, you know, just personally, I would love to donate to some of these organizations to help, like little by little. I know I don't have $500,000.
Well, one thing is urban farmers. I mean, the other point of school lunch was from the Department of Agriculture perspective,
Right.
was to work with local farms
right.
Yeah.
to build up their revenue streams,
Yes.
right? So
Right.
if I'm in Western Pennsylvania and we have a school lunch issue, I should be working with the local farmer who's growing things, so his farm is stable,
Right.
his revenue comes through, and the kids have access to healthier food options.
Right.
So if we could work with urban farmers, if we could work with local groups, food gardens, community gardens, et cetera, that would help build this up. But we shouldn't need private wealth for this. The government should be
know.
able to take
Absolutely.
care
Yeah.
of what's happening here. And I think that's what's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is frustrating, and you know we could talk about this all day. But you know, Elle, you're here, and we want to definitely get into your new EP. But first, we got a viewer comment and wants to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Take a look at the monitor right here.
Hey, Black Coffee Live. This question is for Elle Varner. I wanted to know, what would you say about R&B music currently today and its state? Who's your favorite music artist as well currently? And one other question, who is someone that you would like to work with on a collaboration with a song? Take care.
That's three of them. Three questions.
I don't
wrapped in
remember
one.
all the three.
State of R&B.
State of
State
R&B.
of R&B. Okay, I've been asked this a lot. I think R&B is in a really cool, like, renaissance phase.
Yes, I agree.
You have trap R&B, bedroom R&B, alternative R&B, all this. You still have traditional R&B. So I think it's awesome that we're expanding the genre, and I think it's way past due that R&B is looked at in the popular music scene because it influences pop music.
Sure does.
When they do it, it's pop. When we do it, it's R&B.
Right.
And
That's good shit.
Well,
and that's an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like where it goes into cultural appropriation, not getting our just due for what we contribute to the culture globally. So there's that. What was the second question?
Second one was who do you want to work with?
Oh, who do I want to work with? I really want to work with Black, and I want.
That would be dope.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be dope.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
All right, Black.
All right, Black. No, we've been talking about
Lack.
it. 6 Lack. My name is 6 Lack. And you know, there's just so many amazing Black, Lucky Day, Ari
Love Lucky Day.
Lennox.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
been on Ari.
Yeah.
She's so dope.
great.
Yeah.
This other girl, Baby Rose. She's dope.
I know, I have to look into her.
Who else? There's just so many.
Yes.
Her.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
Who else? I don't know. I think there's just, it's
You're
a great
open to
time.
a lot of
Yeah, I'm
collab,
open.
yeah.
I'm open to collaborations. I'm open to shows and just bringing back that whole ladies first type of. We need, especially our girls need that. They need to see solidarity among women, Black
So true.
women.
Yeah.
And they need messaging that's also gonna uplift them and help. But there's so many songs. What's the one?
The new one just
Brown Skin Girl.
So beautiful.
You know, it's a good time.
It
It's a
is.
good time.
And what was the third? I don't remember the third one.
I think you answered that about like collaboration.
Yeah.
Oh, your favorite artist? Who's your favorite artist?
Well, that's kind of the
Yeah, I kind of am.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the time that you had
Yeah.
between Perfectly Imperfect and this new EP.
Yeah.
So tell me about that growth, what you were going through.
Yeah.
I know you've grown a lot as a woman. I'm like
Yeah.
just being a fan of yours and then being your friend now. Like
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that growth in the last 7 years and what you want your fans to know now about Elle.
I just want to say that, you know, life has its twists and turns, plot twists, and we have our ideas of what we're gonna do, and we think, okay, if I do this, that, and the third, I'll get it and I'll make it happen. But we're not really in control of most things, and that's where upset and letdown comes into play when you have these high expectations. So that being said, I've learned so much from the experience. My transitions from major to independent, transitioning with the people I worked with, and now I started my own label.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I own my master.
Yeah. That is incredible.
Thank you. So I've quietly been doing so much behind the scenes and just building myself back up, letting go of anger, resentment, hurt. It's just, it ain't gonna do nothing for me.
Exactly.
You can hear it in the
Nothing.
music too. Like
Thank
the transition has been amazing, especially like I don't know what you were going through, but
We can feel it. I can feel it.
Right.
Shame on him. You know.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Okay.
It's more than that. Everyone always thinks it's about relationships.
Yeah.
There's so many like bigger things that come
Got
into
you.
play. You know, it could be people you work with. It could be friends. You know what I mean? I have this line: "Day ones turned into day nuns."
Wow.
But the song with Rhapsody, oh my God.
Yes. Fire.
Wish you well. Wish you well.
Even though it hurt like hell, I cried tears filled with wishing well. I still wish you well.
Yes.
And that took
That
me
hit
a
me.
long time to get there because I was like, you don't say this like that. And then it was killing me. It was killing me and just bringing me so down.
Right. Yeah, you can't carry it. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, when anger comes to you, it literally serves nobody. And some people don't even know you're angry at them.
Right.
Like, and you're
Yeah.
holding all this
Yep.
in.
And they living life.
And they're chilling.
And they
they're on
having a good
Instagram
time on a boat,
twerking,
riding,
you know,
driving
all
boat.
summer. And you're like, I just don't understand. I thought we were friends and cool. So I'm proud of you for letting it go
Thank
and
you.
letting the music lead you because
Thank
this
you.
Ellevation project is incredible.
We
Thank you.
love it for
Yeah.
real.
Thank
Like
you.
no BS.
It's amazing, and we want to make sure y'all check it out. So everywhere music is streaming, make sure
Yes.
you grab it right now. It's called Ellevation. Thank you for joining us. We love you. We can't wait to check y'all out
Thank
live. It's
you,
gonna be
thank
so
you.
dope. And make sure you check us out live every day. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, where you can subscribe and you can see us every day, 10 a.m. Eastern, every single day. Also, watch our old interviews. We got a bunch of good stuff in there. Black Coffee, The Refill is coming up next. We'll be talking to songwriter, producer, and rapper St. John. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you go over to Twitter right now to check that out. We'll be right here. Thank you for this.
Amazing.